Hello listeners, and welcome to another edition of Universal Energies. My guest today is Lesley Sherlock. I beg your pardon, I'm a bit tongue-twisted. You haven't seen us for a little while, you excuse that. So welcome, my dear.
Thank you.
Now Lesley is a healer. I know her as a healer, you won't know her as a healer. And as you know, that we just give you the information to make so you can make up your own mind, giving you the tools so you can research yourself. Lesley specialises at the moment in Indian head massage and Reiki. And let's ask Lesley, says, do you do anything else apart from this?
I do also do card readings as well, angel tarot and oracle card readings.
But you're...
Well, but my main focus is Reiki, I've got to say. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. So I understand you operate from the name of, your trading name is Rose Heart Reiki. And where do you do this? Have you got a place that you do it in, or do you do it at home, or are you mobile, or what?
Okay. Well, I do give mobile treatments, but I'm also based at the Natural Health Centre in Woodbridge. So if anybody wants an appointment, I can see them there as well.
And of course all this will appear on the website at the end, and at the end of the programme also. Lesley will have all the relevant information, his website, Facebook pages, etc, etc. So how long have you been doing this?
Reiki since about 2004.
Right, okay.
That's when I started on my Reiki healing journey, if you like.
Okay.
Professionally, for the past couple of years.
Okay. So what made you start on this journey, as you just said?
Well, I probably started on the spiritual journey, if you like, probably around 20 years ago.
Right, okay.
If I'm honest. And that was by starting meditation. That was one of the things that I started with. Because I suppose I was really starting to question what life was all about.
Was this in a group, meditation in a group, you mean?
No, this was on my own.
On your own,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and I was really, I suppose, wanting to sort of find out more about the spiritual side of life. Because I was starting to question what my life purpose was, I suppose.
Right, okay.
And I felt I needed something to kind of take me there. So yeah, it was probably around 20 years ago that I really started to become more interested in this type of thing. Yeah, it was really from meditation that really kind of...
I think the viewers will relate to this, because in our lives we come across certain things that influence to do certain things, whatever they happen to be, but we change and we start to think more deeply about, especially I have to say, as the years creep up on us, we tend to think about different things, more spiritual rather than the here and now, if you like. And we can put that down to life, if you like, but we all do the same sort of thing. So you were talking about meditation. Is there anything else that has influenced you? Maybe a faith or a belief of some sort, or maybe someone around you?
I would say it was probably my step-grandmother who gave me the interest in spiritualism, actually, initially, because she was a regular attender at our local church.
Right, okay.
But having said that, it wasn't really something I was aware of. I wasn't really aware of the influence until later on.
Right, okay.
But obviously she would go for healing and such. So it was kind of in my periphery, but I wasn't too focused on it at the time. But now I realise how that has.
So was your stepmother a working medium or a card reader or something?
No, not at all. But she was a regular at the church, and that.
Right. Okay.
Other than spiritualism, I can't really say that I wasn't brought up in any particular faith.
No. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good, because then there's nothing to sway or influence you towards it. You just make up your own mind as you go on, which is good. Okay, so we're talking, you said about 20 years ago that you started to think differently, you went through the spiritualist church, etc. So how long have you actually been doing the Rose Heart Reiki and the Reiki Indian head massage that you do now?
Right, well, professionally for the past couple of years.
Right, okay.
So 2014.
And
But I actually did train in Reiki and head massage around about 2004.
right, okay.
But with Reiki, it's more as it was developed initially, it's more a self-development system rather than a healing system. So the founder of Reiki didn't actually teach it as a healing system for people to give treatments. It was more a self-development.
So why do you think that there's so much Reiki healing out there now, with all due respect to you, of course?
Why is that? It's just the way it's developed in the West.
Right.
Because it did. It was brought to the West by Mrs. Takata, who was brought up in Hawaii, and she started to teach from there. And it's just the way things have developed and how people have used the system. But I like to focus on what I would call more the original techniques, more the Japanese tradition.
Right, okay.
Because the Western tradition it's kind of added a lot of things, a lot of more New Age.
There seems to be a lot
of
healing under the umbrella of Reiki. There seems to be a lot of different formats of Reiki. I mean, I was brought up in a situation whereby when we did it, yes, the mediums only had the platform was spiritual church and nowhere else. Now everybody's a medium and a psychic. They're coming out the woodwork. Yeah. But that's not. And I have to say that sometimes, looking at Reiki healing, we can put the same denotion on that. Yeah. So, with all due respect to you, I know you, and Lesley comes to my centre, and which we'll talk about later on. But having said that, then let's go away from Reiki and concentrate Indian head massage here. How did you get involved in that?
Well, I think after I'd learnt Reiki, I really wanted to learn some other healing technique. And I think I had a head massage at a local fair or something, and I found it so beneficial that I thought I've really got to learn this. Right.
Okay. So, what do you think? What do you think the members of or the viewing public? What do you think they would get out of this here if they went along to have an Indian head massage? They're complete novices. They don't know. What do you think they get out of it?
Well, most people will come if they've got problems with neck tension or headaches, and also from being on the computer. You know, loads of people are using a screen, aren't they, nowadays? And the first place tension is going to arise is in your neck and shoulders if you're sort of hunched over a computer. Yeah. So really, that I would say is the main benefit, is to release the tension that you're holding in the sort of upper area here, in your sort of upper energy centres.
It seems like we've done programs on auric healing here, and through the aura they pick up through different things, and they do the healing through that aura here. So I think that there's not a lot of distance between Indian head massage and auric healing, really. They're very similar in the only difference is one is touching, if you like, whereas the other is auric work here. But many strings make a good bow, so they say at the end of the day. And whatever healing is out there, friends, then if you've never had it before, just go along and find out. Because all I can say for that is that forewarned is forearmed, so don't have any thoughts in your mind at all. Just go there and enjoy the experience. So we've talked about how long you've been doing this. I just want to go round the corner here a bit on that question and said, what put you on this road to start with, apart from what we've just talked about? is there any one particular instance that put you on the road of healing rather than a Pacific Reiki or Indian head massage? Or
I suppose from my own personal point of view, I had sort of suffered quite often from depression. That was something that I'd struggled with, and I found that I did get a lot of relief once I started.
Oh, that's lovely, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that so many times, and it's not just healing, but it's working with the unknown spirit, or whatever you want to say here, in general.
Yes.
Because it's almost like going into yourself,
yes.
finding out who you are, what you're all about and everything else, and trusting in yourself, which is a big word, you know, So, as we're going along here today, and we found out about or how you first started this and everything else, I know that you have, we've spoken about, that, and you have spoken too, about your operating through the Woodbridge Healing Centre.
Yes.
There now. Tell us just a little bit about how you came to that, or what is good for you, what the Woodbridge Healing Centre is about for you.
Well, I'll be starting next week actually, because I have been mobile up until now, but I'll be giving treatments as of next week.
Right, okay.
So it is a new thing for me, but it's lovely to have a base and to see people there. And also it's nice to be surrounded by other therapists, because obviously there are other therapies as you go along, as you treat people, you realise that they can benefit from other therapies as well. You know, you're not kind of just focusing on your own therapy. It's very good to network with other therapists. So I think that's really important.
So how do you think that benefits, sorry to interrupt, how do you think that benefits then, if we all, do we need to experience different therapies?
Oh yes. Yeah.
For the individual?
For the individual, yeah. It's very much down to the individual person what they would need.
Right, okay.
And it's very good to be aware of other therapies and how they can benefit people, and to know what else is available. And at the Natural Health Centre there is a very big range of therapies available. So that's one of the reasons.
I suppose a lot of times people go with, they don't actually know what they want.
As well, yes.
Yeah, so that's really good, because they can probably have little testers, can they, of different things?
Yes, now and again they do taster evenings and treats.
Yeah, okay. Do you do those as well?
I will be doing them, yes.
Yeah, okay. So just explain what a tester evening is. Or
yeah, I mean, I do events such as at your centre in Trimley, where I would give a 15-minute treatment. So it's a sample of a full treatment. A full Reiki treatment would be around 40 minutes, but I can do a seated treatment for around about 15-20 minutes, just to give people an idea of what the experience is like. And I'll also do a shortened head massage, so that would be, again, around about 15-20 minutes, and that gives you a good idea of what to expect. Obviously the full treatment is much more beneficial, but it does give you an idea of what to expect if you did decide you wanted to book a treatment.
Yeah, and do come along. We'll explain later on, but Lesley is there tonight. Book on the door as you come in. But you also do fairs as well, don't you?
Yes, I do, yes.
So you do the same sort of thing. Would you offer testers there, or would it be a full-blown healing session, or how would you work it?
I just do the sample sessions.
Right, okay.
I don't do a full treatment.
No, right, okay. That brings me nicely onto a situation is that a lot of people here who watch the show may be novices. They don't quite like going to mind, body, spirit fairs, etc., etc. They're quite dubious about picking someone, because there's lots of different healers, whether it be as your good self, or acupunctures, or I've even heard about shamanic Reiki. And now that seems to be one of the new ones that are coming along. But having said that, I can't really assimilate the two. I I do shamanic work, but I can't relate that to Reiki because you heal anyway.
Yes.
But for the people and the novices who come along, how would you think that someone like yourself or other healers could influence them? They don't even know them. Do you have something you can advertise and say, this is what I do, and you can have a chat with the people beforehand, or how would you work it?
How do you mean?
Right. Say I came along to a fair.
Yeah.
I had no idea about, there's lots of healers around there.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what each and every person did. So what kind of advertising would there be? Would you, if I went up to you, say, and you don't know me, and you say, well, if you've got 5 minutes, I'll say this, that and something else, and then you can have a little, is that how you work?
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy to sort of chat with people, any questions they've got.
Right.
And also I do have some materials I can give people just to, a basic fact sheet on what Reiki is, for instance, just to give them a general idea, really, what it is and what it can do for them. But yeah, I'm quite happy to chat with people, and actually I offer a free consultation for if people want to just give me a ring, and just to find out if it's going to be suitable for them, really, because obviously
that's
there's a lot of things out there, and
yeah.
Unless you sort of inquire a bit into it and get a bit more information, you wouldn't ever know, would you? So yeah.
That's fine. I'm just trying to ask you so that you can get over to the viewers so they know.
Yes, yeah.
They don't really want to hear me speak, they want to hear you speak. So that's, and I'm rubbish when I do. But I just give you the tools and offer you to run with that, hopefully. And that does, blow my own trumpet, make a good interviewer, so I've been told. Anyway, as we're going along here, I have to say that when I first became into this movement, the spirit movement altogether, there was only sort of a couple of things that we either did hands-on healing or you did auric healing. There wasn't really anything else there. Okay, so just give us a background roughly of your interpretation of how Reiki came about and how long it's been going.
Well, Reiki, I think, as an energy, has probably been about for a long time.
Yeah, for the energy, yeah.
But it was, I suppose you could say, rediscovered by Mikao Usui, Dr. Usui, who started the healing system. And that was sort of around about the beginning of the 20th century. So we're talking sort of 1920s. That's when he had his clinics. He started out in treating people in clinics. Now there's a lot of myth and mystery about how it all started, and when it actually came out of Japan. Mrs. Takata brought Reiki out of Japan. She did actually change the story a little bit to make it more palatable to people in America, because if you think historically, around about that time, Japan was a very closed society, and then you have things like Pearl Harbor, which influences people's perceptions. And so initially the story around Dr. Usui was that he was a Christian doctor, and that he was researching the healing abilities that Jesus had. But of course, as the years have gone by, people have done research into what the real story was, and he was a Buddhist in actual fact. He was a Tendai Buddhist, and he, through his various spiritual practices, he then developed this system. Having said that, he wasn't the only one in Japan who was working with this Reiki energy. Although he is the famous one, there were other people using Reiki energy, but he's the one that we've come to know. And it basically really spread in America via Mrs. Takata, and eventually sort of spread into Europe sort of later on, really, possibly 70s, 80s, it started to really come over to Europe.
Right.
And to be a master would cost you several £1,000s. And it was also a very oral tradition. You weren't allowed to write down any of the symbols. So you can imagine quite a lot of the information did get a little bit, let's say, not quite as accurate as it could have been. And it's thanks to Reiki masters in the 80s and 90s who actually did a bit of research, went to Japan to find the real history and the, what you could say, truth about the actual man and his healing system, that we've come to sort of find out more, the truth about what the real story was, as far as the healing
we can
system
see
and
how
the
far
person.
we've gone, can't we?
Yeah, yeah.
We could
so,
definitely see how far we've
yeah.
gone.
And actually, this is one of the reasons I like the Reiki that I do, because it's back to the original system. It's the most simple system you could possibly imagine, but the simplicity belies its effectiveness. And yeah.
I like simple.
Yeah, simple is good.
I do like simple. The main reason is that there are people out there who are going to say that we can heal ourselves. We have the capacity to heal ourselves. We're born with that. Positive thinking, all the books that come out throughout the years and many years, power of positive thinking, persuade yourself positively, and all the rest of the things. And then we go back to the different cultures. I've got different books out about healing and positive work there. Through my storytelling, Native American storytelling, the Lakota medicine men we talk about healing, the shamanic people talk about healing. So I like simple so we don't complicate things. And my friends out there, I like to call them my friends because they call me up at any time. At the end of the day, then they like simple as well. And to hear it from you, simplicity is really good here.
It's good, yeah.
Because I think if we start putting big names around certain things that we don't associate, and we don't even think that they're just healing, then we start to complicate matters as they go along here. Okay, so we've talked about the different forms and the different subject matters that are around it, and the different ideologies to do with Reiki here and everything else here. So yes, you're completely right of what you're thinking, whereby the Reiki is good. It's good for people to understand here. And through the symbols, and there seems to be a lot of things that are associated with symbolic means these days. And I mean, I'm thinking about going right the way back to the bones for the Hopi when I was over there and walking with them, and with the grandmothers, and they told me, and on to the runes, which are various, they're all symbolic symbols here. So let me ask you, Lesley, my dear, what's the future hold for you?
The future for me is quite exciting because I'm going to be starting to teach some courses. So I'll be teaching Reiki First Degree. That's coming up in October, but obviously there'll be details on my website about that. And I'm looking forward to holding some Reiki shares in the future.
Good.
So yeah, that's...
I'm looking forward to it, and I can see a different programme later on when we've got things going, and from one step to another, and we love it because we go from a little bit to a big bit, and that's really good here. So without further ado, let me say thank you so much, Lesley, for coming today, and I do hope that everything goes all right for you in the future. We will always keep in touch, whatever happens, and we look forward to seeing you tonight. So for now, thank you very much, Lesley.
Thank you very much, Rob.
Okay.